Next, mobile communication. Check in your chapter. Next one will be mobile communication. And what we mean by mobile communication? Communication on the go. And whenever I say mobile communication or mobile communications, I mean portability. I mean we can walk around because we are using wireless connectivity. Yes, just like in chapter 4, you can connect devices to the network either using wire or using wireless or radio frequency. We call it radio frequency. So whenever a device can connect to the network wirelessly, that means that device has one feature, which is portability, which is portability. Now, for mobile communications, I mean the one that we use for phone call, text messages, and access, your normal smartphone, you will find to be able to have this kind of portabilities, the whole area is divided into what we call cells. Let me do it down there. The whole area will be divided into cells. For example, we have a tower. This tower has 3 antennas, as you can see here, and this tower will be covering area A. So any smartphone in this area will get the service from this tower. Are we good? Or this antenna. Now, whenever we go or would like to go to another media, to another area, you'll find another area has its own tower. So this is area B, and this is area C. So as you can see, the whole city will be divided into areas. Each and every area, regardless of how the area span, will be covered by a tower. Now, if you are served with tower A, for example, whenever you are moving from A to B, what will happen in this area? Your smartphone will notice that the signal from A is getting weaker and another stronger signal is coming from B. Handover will happen. Yes, tower A will ask tower B to take over your connection. So whenever you are moving, that's why we have these overlap areas, as you can see, between the coverage. Because sometimes you are moving from one area, maybe you are driving your car, you are moving from one area to another area, you will find that this tower has to hand out the connection, otherwise the connection will be disconnected. Are we good? For this, we call them to have a seamless connection. So the questions will come how mobile phone can have a seamless portable connection. You'll have to mention what we just mentioned. The whole area is divided, yes, and served by towers. And whenever you are moving from an area to another area, in intersection areas, your phone or your device will decide which signal is best, and it will connect to that signal. And everything will done in nanoseconds, so you won't even notice there is a connection. Why we use these kind of smartphones? For what? For phone call services and nowadays accessing the internet. Very good. Advantage. What are the advantage? Very portables, and sometimes you get free, for example, minutes or seconds. Yes, portability, and you might get a free minutes or second. Disadvantages is what? Distance calls are very expensive. If you are calling from one country to another country, you will find the cost will be more. Why? Your provider is taking money from you, and the other country providing is also taking money from you. So two providers are charging you for this call because you are calling across countries. And that's why nowadays what we prefer to call using the internet, and we call it a voice over internet protocols. Why we prefer voice over IP? Instead of calling using the SIM card, we will call using the internet. So they will never charge you per second. They will charge you just like you are watching, you are browsing, for example, or using the internet. And that's why voice over IP is becoming nowadays very popular. Not only for this reason, it's less expensive, but because instead of having only calls, you can have what? You can have video calls. You can share documents. Yes, you can call video even. Are we good if you have a very good internet connection? Good. So voice over IP means calling using internet instead of calling using your SIM card. Do you have disadvantages? Do we have a disadvantage? Yes. What's a disadvantage? Good internet connection. Second one, it can lag. And the third one, nowadays they are trying to press you not to use it by the provider, as you can see in some countries, because they are losing money. They would like you to use their SIM card instead of using the internet. So they will try and squeeze the bandwidth for this kind of calls. Very good. So the question here in the exam will be, why would we use voice over IP for calling, either local or distance calls? Advantages, cheaper. Second advantages, you can have a video, you can share documents, you can have multiple people. In chapter 4 we called it video conference. Remember? Chapter 4 we called it video conference.